Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and you're going to see more of this as I just try and press on and show you guys some of the content you're asking for. And there have been times where I'm just like, things are too messy to do it, but you know what? We're just going to do it anyway. Not going to clear off the bench of other stuff I have that I'm working on. You guys have been asking about this bullhead for a while, and it's time to show it to you finally. So there's a couple trucks that I've had on my shelf that you've asked about for a while, and I haven't really done a full rundown video on them. They haven't got much air time, so I'm going to try and remedy that and just do a couple of little videos like this to show them off. This is a classic right here. This is the Tamiya Bullhead, and pretty much this is the look of it if you were to look at the packaging as far as color scheme and all of that. I bought this already assembled from Eric Marone on Facebook last year, and he'd done a few other things to it, and that's why I thought it was a good deal when I got it. He'd already kind of, one, painted it beautifully, but two, added the upgrades I was going to have to add to it anyway if I were to buy one stock, and we'll talk about that. I'll put some links in as well to the description. Speaking of links, steering links here, this is one of the most crucial things I think that you can do to a clodbuster or bullhead is to remove the servo setup that they have, where it's one servo up in the chassis working both the front and rear steer on this. So this is front and rear steer. We'll show that in a minute, and we'll do some run footage with this truck as well. But it's got a Kimbrough servo saver on here, but the main thing being this servo mount. It's an axle servo mount. Axle mounted servo, that's what I'm looking for. There we go, spit out the words. So that is key to talk about. Something else I buy from Crawford is, and this doesn't have it, is I buy the bolts so that you're not bolting through from the inside out and putting nuts on like this. If you break an axle tube here, you have to take the whole axle assembly apart to get into the inside of this, remove all the gears to remove it. They make it so that they're able to screw in from the side, go outside in, and I prefer that. I haven't had it break out on me doing that. You can see up here, he does have lights installed in the bumpers. I am not a huge fan of lights. It requires extra batteries and things like that, and I just don't feel like dealing with it. It's got cool stickers going on here on the wheels. Sorry, on the tires. Turned out really good. They're just stuck on there. Vinyl sticker, but it looks really good. All right, so very beautiful paint job on here. We're going to take this off so we can see some of the other detail. Painted all the way inside. And you can see where the lights are routed. Right through here and up into there. And it has I think it's a JST plug or whatever. So you'd have to run another battery in here to power it, and it's just not worth it to me. For the way I run them. I'm running a 3-channel SR315 Spectrum receiver that is bound to my Spectrum DX5 Rugged, which I love because I can one-handed drive. And it also has a lift kit. This is also available at CPE, Crawford Performance Engineering website, who I buy most of my clodbuster parts from. I have a whole bin. Actually, it's right here. You pardon my mess, but I just have a whole bunch of just parts and pieces that I buy. You can see CPE that are just basically comes out of a box. I've got all kinds of things in here, upgrades, motor mounts, and there's those screws actually that screw in from the outside. So you can see I've just got a whole box of stuff that I buy from his store because he sells so much for the clodbuster. It's running a Hobby Wing Quick Run 860 ESC. These are very popular for running dual motor setups. Right there. It had a Dean's plug on it. That's fine by me. I have battery adapters and stuff, and for low voltage, low power like this, it's not a big deal to me. Running a 2S LiPo in here. You can see it does have a chassis brace, but it's also an extension. You can see how these lower mounts for the lower link kind of extend out from the chassis a bit there from the bottom. It could go normal. There's mounts for it there, and there's also some, it looks like, from the side here, so you could probably run this as a regular size as well, or length wheelbase. So this is extending the wheelbase a little bit on this particular one, which also has, again, the lift kit installed. And then it also has another Crawford Performance Engineering. You hear me say that name a lot. He makes a lot of this stuff for these, and so it's just a simple adjustment and plate that allow you to run the servo here for the rear steer. So it's running 2 servos instead of 1 to do 4 steer. Some people will opt to just put a lockout in the rear, just lock this up and make it 2 wheel steer, which is it's a fine thing to do. I'm not against that. I have several of them like that, but I definitely prefer it this way. So I'm going to turn on my radio, and we'll see. It should be set up to, yep, my Bullhead. Good to go. We'll power this on. Cool. Now the way I have mine set up is right here is turning the front, and then I've got a toggle switch right here, the F1. If I push it forward, it goes right, and if I pull back, it goes left. And so the servo saver is engaging a little bit when it's not driving, but it turns great when it's on the ground and rolling. So I like that option because I can be driving it, not one-handed so much in rear steer. So I'll have to run like a GoPro or something for the driving footage so I can do the rear steer. But it allows me to do one at a time, so I can be doing rear steer and, let's see if I can do it here, and front steering, and I can do them independent, so I can do crab or whatever. Most steering setups that you get with the controller, their 4-wheel steer setup is going to be you can turn it on or off, and when you turn it on, you turn this and it turns all the wheels. I don't prefer that setup. I prefer to drive it like it'd be a real monster truck, and I toggle the rear steer when I want it. So, and you can set up the parameters on that as well in your radio with your trims and all that, and your travel for the servos, your aux channels, what that would be. One of my auxes. So this is my steering, and this would be, I think, aux 1. Won't get into the details of that too much. Anyway, we'll get this out there, and we'll get some run footage for you guys. All right, here we go. And don't worry, Fred, I'll take this one just as hard as I did yours. I won't show any mercy. Of the J constants regulator, that's for sure. Stock motors. I'm still not able to do 4 steer because I'm one-handed driving right now. We'll switch over to the GoPro in just a second. Ooh, something don't sound right. All right, well, that didn't go as planned. This thing has normally been a shelf queen for me for the most part. I've driven around a little bit on the cement and tried to keep it looking nice because I have other clod busters that I go out and I beat up. But today I just want to, give this thing a really good run for you guys, show you the Bullhead. But I didn't assemble it. Something doesn't seem right in the axle. I actually had a little bit of question marks seeing when it was mounted and how it was done. And it's different than all my other clod busters. So I'm gonna have to tear down the axles, find out maybe just the pinion's not on tight. I don't know. Something is making some awful noise in the rear gearbox. There's no push, no power, just kind of grinding and clicking. I've got extra gears, not a big deal. I'll be able to fix it. But we did have to end our run a little bit early today after just giving it a little bit of abuse. I didn't actually get to do that much with the rear steer for you guys because I was running with the big, nicer camera first and one-handed driving. But when I switched to the GoPro, there's really no push. But also the truck is so tall that the forced steer, it really turns sharp and it leans really bad with just the single shocks around. So it probably needs dual shocks to make it stiffer, but once it goes stiffer, it's gonna be a little bit more unwieldy on the jump. So I have to decide what I wanna do there. It's kind of a show truck anyway. I'll probably leave it forced steer and just kind of do what I did today. It's not meant to go fast. I've got other trucks that are for that, and I've got one that I'm going to be building for you guys very soon, a regulator, J Concepts with regulator axles that I got off of Shapeways from them. So it's going to be really, really rad. Can't wait to build that up. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in for another video. Sorry this one kind of ended with, well, how a lot of mine end, carnage. So we'll catch you next time. That's what makes the hobby so much fun, right, guys? Is stuff happens, you never know, and it's all fixable. That's the best part. Got a smile, just go through it and I'll let it be, and we'll get it fixed up and running again, guys. Have fun RCing.